Grab your drinks, grab whatever, your coffee, your beer. We're going to have a little bit of a chat today, and I want you to be as active in the comments as you possibly can with your opinions. And obviously, we know that 20-70 has just dropped. You've probably watched my video or 300 other YouTubers with their video. And I haven't really had too much sort of feedback on YouTube, but when it comes to Instagram, I've got over 200,000 followers on Instagram, and a lot of people are looking past that wide 20 millimeters focal length and just thinking, well, it's an f4. That's what we want to discuss today, and that's what I want to have a chat to you guys about today. Is why are people not, really in awe with the wide 20 millimeter focal length, 20-70? That's a really, really good focal length for vlogging, for real estate, wildlife, when it comes to wide shots, landscapes, all those kind of things. It's a really awesome perspective, just a little bit wider than your standard 24-70. And I think Sony have done really well with that, but people are just like, yeah, but it's an f4. Why would I invest that much money in an f4? That's what we want to discuss today. And one of my favorite lenses of all time has to be the 24-105. It's an incredible lens. Sure, it's an f4, but it's got OSS. It's really fast autofocus. It's got a brilliant zoom range, and it's for full frame. If it was an f2.8, that would be amazing, but it's an f4. I'm completely happy with that. Mainly for the fact that if you zoom into 105 millimeters, you're still going to get some incredible separation from the background. F2.8 obviously will give you more separation from the background, but sometimes you don't want that much bokeh. You don't want to shoot wide open at f2.8 sometimes. And this is one of those things. You can still zoom into 70 millimeters at f4 and still get really nice sort of depth of field, blown out backgrounds. Obviously not crazy creamy like an f1.8 or f2.8. But it's still just enough. And when it comes to low light situations, sure, f4 doesn't let in as much light as an f2.8, but the sensors on the Sony Alpha cameras these days are just absolutely incredible when it comes to low light. So you could push that ISO as high as you really need to, and it'd still be relatively clean in the end. That's a tough thing, and maybe I'm blind, maybe I'm just looking completely past the f4 because it has a wide 20 mil, but I don't see an f4 being an issue. And look, if the f4 really is an issue, get the G Master lens. That's what the 24-70 f2.8 is. That's what that is for. That's why I've invested so much money in all the G Master primes, the 24, the 35, the 85, yeah, actually, they're the only three G Master primes that I've got, but they're the only three that I need. But the 24, 35, and 85 are f1.4. That's the reason why I get primes, is because they're generally faster. There are a lot of people that are like, why can't this be like an f1.8 or an f2.8? It's just like, well, f2.8, that's what the G Master's for. And if you made an f2.8 a 20-70, this thing would be huge. Have you seen the Canon 28 or 20-70? F2? That lens is so big and so heavy, and that's just an f2. Imagine if it was an f1.8. That would be insane. It would be so big because the amount of glass elements that you need, obviously, to let in at least an f1.8, but also to have an f1.8 consistent between the ranges of 20 millimeters to 70, that's very difficult. And for, a lens company to do that, they would be absolutely groundbreaking. That would be, dare I say it, a game changer when it comes to lenses. A zoomable lens at f1.8 is a complete game changer for full frame. I understand Sigma have the 18-35, which is an f1.8, but it is an APS-C or Super 35 lens, which is completely different because it covers a smaller image circle. You need to cover a larger image circle, so the lens is going to be incredibly massive, and no one is able to do it yet, or maybe no one's willing to do it. I know people are able to do it, but like I said, the size of the lens would just be ridiculous. But if you need the f2.8, get the G Master. This is an f4. It has a wide 20mm focal length. What do you think? Like, am I just being completely batshit crazy and just out of my mind thinking this lens, is good for the price. It does what it needs to do. It suits, a specific demographic. It has decent amount of bokeh, has incredible image quality. Am I just going crazy? I actually really like this lens. I really, really like it. Sure, it's an f4. I'm happy with that. Yeah, I don't feel the need to completely obliterate the background. And that's the thing. If you're wanting to blow the background out so much, why? Why do you need to separate your subject from the background that much? Is your background very uninteresting? Are you in a really bad location? If anything, you're out and about, you probably want to show the background off a little bit more. And f4 would probably actually be decent. And when it comes to filmmaking, being f4, f5.6 is actually quite standard, especially when it comes to Hollywood. They want to try and show the background, the mise-en-scène. They want to, show you what they've built. They don't want this creamy f1.4 shallow depth of field unless, you are Army of the Dead and Zack Schneider and want that stupid, barely can see their eyes depth of field. In my opinion, it's just my opinion, but I don't know. Let me know in the comments below what you think about this lens. Does it fit in the Sony range? Do you want an f2.8? But obviously, if you do want an f2.8, you get the G Master. But I have no issue with this, especially with the lineup that Sony have. They're replacing the older 24-70. This is a 20-70, and it's got, all the internal focusing motors, XD linear motors inside. It's parfocal, it's linear, it's incredible. Let me know what you think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. All right, let's get it.